So apparently, Microsoft is laying off 1,900 employees. If you're confused by this, you are not alone. What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for hanging out with me through another discussion video. This one I feel like being fairly important because it discusses a pretty big kind of thing that is happening currently in the gaming world, which talks about layoffs. Now, layoffs have been something that have been ongoing throughout 2023, and despite 2023 being a banging year for gamers and much of it to our benefit with games like Tears of the Kingdom, Resident Evil 4, Baldur's Gate 3, and so many others that came out last year, it actually was one of the worst years in the gaming industry as it saw a number of massive layoffs from Bungie to Blizzard to Microsoft now in 2024, laying off employees. We even saw employees getting laid off outside the gaming industry in the form of Google. Google laid off people. A lot of businesses have been laying off employees, and it has resulted in a lot of conversation, a lot of discussion surrounding overhiring, and it's just resulting in people being jobless and things like that. So I want to talk about this in this video because, as you know, Microsoft has been having a relatively solid year, or what it seems like, right? They just spent a boatload of money to purchase Activision Blizzard, and now that has resulted in them firing 1,900 employees. The math just ain't mathing. So I want to read this article with you guys and see if there's any sort of any sort of information that we can attain from here that can help us better understand how Microsoft apparently, or should be, within the infinite money glitch as we know them to be, which involves Microsoft just having just a ton of money, which allows them to make big decisions like buying up one of the biggest publishers in the gaming sphere, being in the form of Activision, and also simultaneously be struggling for money and having to let people go. So this article comes from The Verge. It's by Tom Warren, who you may or may not know, very renowned source of gaming information, or really just information regarding tech within the gaming world and things like that. So the article starts by saying Microsoft is laying off 1,900 employees at Activision Blizzard and Xbox this week. While Microsoft is primarily laying off roles at Activision Blizzard, some Xbox and ZeniMax employees will also be impacted by these cuts. Again, I don't understand why Microsoft would need to make cuts. I mean, it seemed like Microsoft, at least from what we've known, it seemed like they were doing pretty well. And, it's something that obviously is happening not just within the gaming industry, but within other industries, that they're having to lay people off and cut, make some cuts. It's a really unfortunate thing, especially, we're going to keep our conversation within the gaming industry because that's really where a lot of this seems to be happening. It feels like every time I go through social media or, browse the internet, I'm seeing an article talking about a major publisher or a major figure within the gaming industry like Xbox having to now fire people. So it's kind of a big deal. It says that the cuts work out to roughly 8% of the overall Microsoft gaming division that stands at around 22,000 employees in total. The Verge has obtained an internal memo from Microsoft Gaming CEO Phil Spencer that confirms the layoffs. He states that it's been a little over 3 months since the Activision Blizzard and King teams joined Microsoft. As we move forward in 2024, the leadership of Microsoft Gaming and Activision Blizzard is committed to aligning on a strategy and an execution plan with a sustainable cost structure that will support the whole of our gaming business. Together, we've set priorities, identified areas of overlap, and ensured that we're all aligned on the best opportunities for growth. As part of this process, we have made the painful decision to reduce the size of our gaming workforce by approximately 1,900 roles out of the 22,000 people on our team. The gaming leadership team and I are committed to navigating this process as thoughtfully as possible. The people who are directly impacted by these reductions have all played an important role in the success of Activision Blizzard, ZeniMax, and Xbox teams, and they should all be proud of everything they've accomplished here. We are grateful for all the creativity, passion, and dedication that have brought to our teams, or they have brought to our teams, our players, and our colleagues. We will provide our full support to those who are impacted during the transition, including severance benefits informed by local employment laws. Those whose roles will be impacted will be notified, and we ask that you please treat your departing colleagues with the respect and compassion that is consistent with our values. Looking ahead, we'll continue to invest in areas that will grow our business and support our strategy of bringing more games to more players around the world. Although this is a difficult moment for our team, I am as confident as ever in our ability, or in your ability, to create and nurture the games, stories, and worlds that bring players together. Phil. I mean, it seems more like a restructuring thing. I don't know if this has anything to do with money as much as it has to do with when they decided to bring on, a lot of employees in the form of Activision Blizzard, in the form of ZeniMax, all joining Xbox team, and now they're all a part of Xbox. Apparently, it seems that there has been some overlap in some of these positions that has resulted in there kind of maybe being too many people. This is something that in an article I was recently reading about Google, where Google had apparently had to do some layoffs, they had to do different rounds of layoffs because apparently they had just hired too many people. And that resulted in too many people working a position that didn't need that many people, and they have to result in laying people off. I don't know what entails with mergers and acquisitions and things like that. This may just be par for the course. This may just be kind of how things play out. Hey, we're buying you out. We're bringing all these people from your team into our team, our collective whole, our hive mind, if you will. And as a result, there's going to be some departments that have too many people. There's going to be departments that now have 4 or 5 executive assistants or whatever. I don't know. That's just an example, but gaming terms, right? And so that's resulted in them having to fire some people. It's still unfortunate when it happens. You kind of hope that this stuff doesn't happen. For a company that is as successful as Microsoft, you would hope that layoffs wouldn't really be a thing, but unfortunately, it would appear that that's just kind of how it is. So the article continues on by saying, along the layoffs, Blizzard president Mike Ibarra has decided to leave the company. As many of you know, Mike previously spent more than 20 years at Xbox. Now he has seen the acquisition through. As Blizzard's president, he has decided to leave the company, says Microsoft's game content and studios president Matt Booty in an internal memo. It also goes on to say that Microsoft plans to name a new Blizzard president next week. Alan Adam, Blizzard's chief design officer, is also leaving the company. As one of Blizzard's co-founders, Alan has had a broad impact on all of Blizzard's games. His influence will be felt for years to come, both directly and indirectly, as Alan plans to continue mentoring young designers across the industry, says Booty. And then it says that Blizzard's previously announced survival game has also been canceled as part of these changes. Booty says Microsoft will be shifting some of the people working on it to one of several promising new projects Blizzard has in the early stages of development. So this just seems to be news, along with the massive layoffs of 1,900 people. It seems like Mike Ibarra is also leaving, who has been a part of Xbox and Microsoft for over 20 years, and that is resulting in some shifts and some changes there. Alan Adam, Blizzard chief design officer, also leaving as well. So it seems like Microsoft is having some big changes. Now, again, this might just be par for the course. It might just be, this is just kind of how things go. This is what happens. People leave, people... new year, new me kind of thing, and resulting in some major changes. And then it goes on to just describe, Activision, Microsoft's acquisition of Activision Blizzard in October, following 20 months of battles with regulators in US, UK, and US. Former Activision Blizzard CEO Bobby Kotick stepped down in late December. Microsoft not appointing a new replacement. Instead, a suite of Activision Blizzard executives now report up to Matt Booty. Today's layoffs come just a few months after big Xbox leadership changes saw Sarah Bond promoted to Xbox president, leading all Xbox platform and hardware work. Booty was also promoted to the president of game content and studios, which includes overseeing Bethesda, ZeniMax Studios, and Activision Blizzard. And Microsoft last announced big layoffs a year ago, affecting 10,000 employees. Oh my God, guys. I forgot about that. I actually forgot about that one. That was a big one that happened last year. 10,000 employees at Microsoft were laid off. Now, obviously, this isn't directly associated with Activision Blizzard or directly associated with Xbox games as much as it is with the whole of Microsoft, who, sees, I'm sure, thousands of other employees. But yeah, 10,000 people. I mean, this was early last year. The software maker is due to report its fiscal quarter 2 2024 earnings next week, which for the first time will include results from the impact of the Activision Blizzard acquisition. And then Matt Booty provides some additional information. Now, this one is one that I want to talk about. It says, what happens next? Those who are impacted are being informed in meetings starting today. Given the challenging day ahead, anyone who is set up to work from home would prefer to can work remotely today. Due to time zones and local holidays, some impacted employees in APAC and EMEA will be informed later this evening and into early next week. After the negotiations are completed, leaders will bring their teams together. Please be mindful of this process in your conversations and outreach during the next few days. So guys, that's it. That seems to be what's happening with Xbox and Microsoft games specifically. A lot of changes, a few new changes in leadership following some massive changes that happened last year, or towards the end of last year, with Bobby Kotick exiting, with obviously the acquisition of Activision Blizzard, and now starting January 2024, we are getting news: 1,900 employees being let go at Xbox Games due to overlap and some other things that maybe they may or may not have mentioned in this memo. I would love to know what you guys think about this. I honestly. I would love to just stop hearing about layoffs. It feels like there's so many layoffs happening due to just either, due to finances, wanting to cut budgets, wanting to cut costs, potentially wanting to, trim numbers of employees and things like that. Maybe it's just getting too expensive. I have no idea. There's so many reasons why these budget, cuts are happening, but it is unfortunate. A lot of people are affected by these. These are real people with families, and now they are finding themselves without work. Hopefully the severance package is good and it holds them up for, a few months while they continue to look for new work. But it's just never a good feeling to be laid off from your job. And it seems like even outside the gaming industry, it's happening a lot within the gaming industry. But it seems to be something that's happening a lot outside other industries as well. Just widespread layoffs happening all around us. And that's leading to a lot of frustration, as you can imagine. But I would love to know what you guys think about this. Is this, what are your thoughts? Is this a bad sign for Xbox? Should they have spent all this money to purchase Activision Blizzard if they were just going to lay people off? Is this, just kind of how it goes? I would love to know your thoughts in the comment section. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.